Do you
Well,
use
I'm
this
just
view?
who?
I like this view you have. Do you use this for work?
No, we have our own software for
Oh,
work.
okay, got it. I was
We
talking
don't
about your back.
use.
I was talking about your background, but that's okay.
No, I'm. I, I'm normally in my
He's normally
office.
in the office.
Okay, I
I'm
was
normally in
asking.
my office, and this is not
Okay,
my office. This is my living area.
okay, gotcha. Okay, good.
I stand at efficiency.
Okay, gotcha.
But you just said about the office. You need to cut down.
I stand an extended stay.
I think you should stop.
You don't have an office if you have an extended if you had an extended stay.
I
I
want him to
lost y'all
stop.
both.
We haven't lost you. We
We
still hear
hear you.
you.
Well, we can't. It's not the fan anymore.
Mm-mm.
It's not the fan.
Right now.
Extended stay. It's echoing now.
Oh, that was me. I was. I like to watch it on see it
Oh,
on the
okay,
phone. So because we're
okay,
live, he didn't tell
okay,
us.
okay.
We're live now.
We're live now, and I want to. I like to see it because sometimes people leave comments and I read them.
Mm,
You know,
What about now?
we're great
Corey, we have heard
Okay.
everything you always say.
the whole time.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're gonna roll. Um, I'm just not gonna touch my earphones, and I'm gonna accept what we receive. Okay.
Great.
So
I felt like you were gonna say when I open up in prayer. That's what I felt like you were gonna say.
no, no, not today. Nobody wants to
It
hear
was
my
just it
prayer.
was just your tone, but I got it.
And we're here, and we're
And we're
gonna
here.
begin.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. No, here we go. Um, in five. Okay. Hello out there, podcast listeners. This is Corey Wilson with Surviving, Surviving, Surviving. I don't really know. Survivor's remorse is this season.
Okay.
I forgot for a minute. Trish, help me out. Don't give me the look like that. Let me
I
start
was
over.
wondering where we were going with
Just keep,
that.
just keep
Okay.
going. No retakes.
You're right. You're right.
Let's
You're
just
right.
go.
Because
Yeah.
I'll edit this out.
Yeah.
So, hello out there, podcast listeners. This is Corey Wilson with Surviving the Podcast. This is season 3, Survivor's Remorse. And here today, I have with me two of my great friends, Latricia and Dina. Like to introduce yourselves, tell a bit about who you are, who the people.
Okay, so I'm Dina. Who am I? I am a Prairie View A&M University graduate. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a corporate sales director, and I am here to enjoy this time with you guys.
Okay.
That's not what you were looking for?
Wow.
No, not at all.
How
I
do
got
I?
sad. I
How
got
do I
sad.
follow? Because I was like, I'm not none of it. I'm not
I
a
got sad.
mom.
I was like,
I
this.
am.
No,
Well,
no,
Oh,
no. Hi, everyone. Like, seriously, I'm Dina. And I'm here to talk and to share what's on my heart tonight.
yeah.
that's what I like.
And I am Trisha D. Williams. If you've watched the previous season, I was one mean teacher. I have grown up since the last season, and I'm an educator. Um, I think I'm like a great friend. Uh, and just a great person to be around. I know you have to like peel through the exterior because when you first meet me, the first thing you're gonna say is I'm mean, but I am really not. I am the one of the one of the nicest people you will probably ever meet.
Awesome.
I second that.
I third it.
It took me a while to peel through them layers, but I got there.
Yeah, I know, and I've accepted it.
That's the
That's awesome.
important part.
I've accepted it.
Acceptance is key.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, this whole season, like I say, you guys, this whole season is really about survivor's remorse. What that means, it's a play on words because when you hear survivor's remorse, what you actually think like regret. But that's what it's about. We survived COVID, and now we are the survivors of COVID. We're on the back end of the pandemic, and a lot of people don't realize how blessed they are to be here, because we've lost some people last year that no one expected to. So this whole season is about survivor's remorse, not living with any regret, just really going all out, balls to the wall. And so this season, this actual episode is titled, "If Today Was Your Last Day, What Would Be the Message You Want to Convey?" It's a bit heavy, but it's also a bit light at the same time. And so, before we get started and dive into the topic at hand, what I'll start with is the survival tip, because we always have a survival tip to start every episode. And today's survival tip is, all life is an experiment. The more experience you make, the better. What does that mean to you guys?
You have to live. To me, it's like you have to take chances. And that's what's going to give you those experiences. And if you don't live, or you live in fear, or you don't want to do this because of what might happen, then you won't get those experiences. That's my first thought.
I agree.
Because I guess, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
No, you said you agree, but go ahead. I want you to expound.
No, I was just saying that I agree because, I think for me, because a lot of people don't know that I am very scared of trying something that is not the norm for me, because I'm afraid of failure. But I guess in the past year, I have just kind of stepped out and did some things that I wouldn't normally do. And even if I failed, I was just kind of like, hey man, like I can say that I tried. I tried, so that's why I agree.
Yeah, it's true. And what it says is life is an experiment. That means life is about trial and error. An experiment is something that you don't know will or will not work. But the more experiments you have, the better it'll be. So you can't live life with a planned system, or I'm not going to try that, I'm not going to do this. That doesn't make one for an interesting life. And so that's what we try our best every day, to try to live life to the fullest. And so I thought that survival tip was very imperative for this episode, because we're going to talk about some things. And so, diving right into it, I talked to both of you guys, and we talk regularly, and sometimes we have a long discussion about nothing. And sometimes we have some discussions where we discover some things. And so there's a lot of people out there who have lost people. And, during COVID, you couldn't spend those last breaths with people. You couldn't go into the hospital. You had to hear about their death. You probably had to call, and they'll put them on speakerphone. And you really didn't get that final goodbye. And, a lot of people, that really affected them mentally. It's hard to lose someone and you don't get to say goodbye, or you don't even get to say what you really want to say. And so instead of having those moments and putting off tomorrow what you can do today, the question is, like, if you knew today was your last day, what would you say? And what would be the message you want to convey? And again, we'll tackle that in many different ways. First, we'll start off with what the message we will want to leave behind. So we'll start with that aspect. So if today was your last day, what will message or what legacy you like to leave behind, or what you're hoping to leave behind?
For me, man, I'm hoping that the people that, and I'm sure they know who they are, know that I love them, and I've loved them through like good, bad, indifferent. I love them, and all the many talks or little talks we had, just remember what I told you, or what I'm saying, whatever I gave you, whatever bit of advice I gave you, just hold on to that, and always hold on to the good, like the good times we had, because that's one thing, that's what keep you going, like the good times you guys had together. Like, just remember that, but just know that, man, I loved you, and I love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I would say mine would be to always be a blessing, and focus on your blessings. Always try to be a blessing to someone else, because that's what I always try to do. So I would hope that, the people that have been around me feel that. And then also to focus on your blessings. It means focus on the positives, focus on what's good, what you have instead of what you don't have. Because in life, that's easy to do. It's easy to focus on what you can't do, what you don't have. And especially during this, during the COVID pandemic time, it's been like, oh, well, we can't do this. We can't do this. We can't, but it's like, how do you spin that and how do you look at what you can do and make the
Right.
best out of that and focus on that? And how much happier would that make your life? And so that's what I would say. Always be a blessing and focus on your blessings.
I like that. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think, there's a saying that says the truth don't need no help. It's going to come out all on its own. And I think that's the same with your legacy. Like, you don't have to go around proving your legacy. I think it goes in your actions. So, I think if I was to leave a legacy, I would just want people to know that I'm a good person. I'm good to people, and I just hope people are good to me. And I don't think it costs you anything to just be a good stand-up person. It doesn't require any finances. That doesn't require any outside resources. It just requires you having a good, decent heart. And sometimes people don't really. I think people get a pride out of being like hard nosed, or pride out of being something that they're not. They want to be. I'm a no nonsense. I'm one of those type of people. That's all great and good when you are on a defense or when you're out competing against the world. But like when someone's coming in, and they're asking for your assistance, or they're asking you for any kind of resource, or just be a good person. And I think that me and my mom talk about this a lot. Like, we just have a given spirit, and sometimes it can be misconstrued as try to use or try to come in and try to abuse or have that motive to where they're going to come in. It's like, I'm just going to take. And like my mama said, that's not for you to determine what they're going to do. You do what you're going to do. You keep moving how you're going to move, and God will take care of the rest. They'll later on realize, man, I really messed them over. I really messed that up, or whatever the case may be. But you go ahead and live. And I think that's the legacy. Like, if I knew today was my last day, I would just hope that people could say, Corey is just a good, solid person, stand-up guy. And that's the legacy I would want to leave behind. So.
And I think, too, that goes to say, like, you can't control others and what they're going to do and what their actions are going to be and what their intentions are. So all you can control is yourself, at the end of the day. So, thinking about, because like you said, a giving person, I'm a giving person too. And I'll give you my last. And I can't focus on, like, I used to like, oh, well, what are they going to think? Are they going to accept it the wrong way? Are they going to think I'm trying to give them this because of this or that? And it's like, hey, no, I know my heart and I know where it's coming from. So that's all I can control. I can't worry myself and think about it, and just continuing to bless people. And regardless of how they take it or what they do, or, knowing, like you said, Miss Roberta is right. God gonna take care of it.
He will. Now, when we talk about creating a legacy, let me ask you, do you think that have you found the purpose of your life yet? Or are you still in the search and discovery mode of what that is?
I'm still searching, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I know it's something like helping others. I just don't know with what yet, because it's a lot of different areas, so I'm a mom, and so I get asked a lot of questions by other moms, and that comes to me a lot. And I just do the best that I can. That's all. That's all I can do as far as just be the best mom I can be. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I just do the best that I can. But that's one thing. It's like, okay, is this what God wants me to do? Like, am I supposed to help people with this part, with being a mom? I don't know. So yeah. But I know it makes me feel good to do those things.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, even though no matter how much I have going on, I'm always willing to help. Even if I'm tired, I'll respond to somebody on something if they have a question about, what's going on with school or this or that. That's kind of where I think I am. And I think that might be my purpose, because I don't get tired of it. I mean, I'll do it even when I'm exhausted. So maybe, I don't know, but that's just kind of what I'm leaning toward right now.
Yeah. Dana, you had a comment. Someone said, Andrea, she said, I'm there with you. And Jovelyn said, hey.
Hey, y'all.
Andrea
And I'm
said,
there
hey,
with you, Andrea.
So, I think that sometimes we think that we know what our purpose are, but I think sometimes we're taken to task on different tests in life to do some digging and make sure we really, really know. There are many answers to that question, I think, and it's important that we find the reasons within ourselves. It has to give you enough feeling, I think, to satisfy who we are and make sure that we ask that question, like, why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I going through what I'm going through? So I think that that's very, very important. And sometimes we don't really know. And we can't go through this discovery zone and then we run out of time. There's a lot of people who short lives, 20 years old, taking it 15, 25. And I know they haven't lived their best life at that time, but what if we were taken today? Do we think we truly know what our purpose is? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. Every day I think I know, and I think I get led back to something where, I'm a behind the scenes person. I think I'm a great set of hands. Like anything you need, let me know. But for some reason, I can never sit on the back row. For some reason, my name is always called. I'm always pulled to come out and lead. Do this. Can you do that? Can you do this? And I don't know if that's my purpose to actually be a leader, because it's natural, or, and I'm fighting that, or am I really in a role that I want to be in? And I think my role is in the background. I really like to fall into a crowd and just no one knows my name. But, people think that's hilarious, but I'm really, really that person. But I think that I can't ever be that person. So
I just thought about this, and tell me what y'all think. What if your purpose changes based on the time of your life? Like whatever period you're in your life, you might serve a different purpose during that time, during that season. Because when you think about it, it's like, okay, this is my purpose right now. And it might be your purpose for 6 months, 6 years, whatever. And then it might change. So that it might not be a one answer. It might because it could be that we serve multiple purposes in life, and we'll continue to serve multiple purposes throughout our life. And it's about embracing that purpose that you feeling at that point in time, because God has you in that place for a reason, and it's fulfilling that, whatever it is at that time in your life.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say is I think it all is based on the season that you are in or that we are in, because now, like, I think I used to try to think about like, what am I supposed to do? Because I used to question, am I I know God didn't put me on this earth to just continue to teach for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm older, like I realize like I'm really good at it. Like I'm good at what I do. So now I just try to be the best person I can be that day. And whatever comes my way, whatever task comes my way, I just try to do my best at it. And if that's helping a kid, helping another teacher, helping a parent, just helping anybody, I just try to be the best person that I can be for that day, because in that moment, that's my purpose.
Right.
So I just try to fulfill that time, because I don't think you really know. I just don't think you know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, since COVID, do you think your views have changed on your purpose? Like, are you tending to focus on different things now because of COVID, and you realize like, man, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and this pandemic really did some things on us. So, maybe I should push my focus towards something else. What's your thoughts on that?
I know the pandemic taught me like to sit down, because every day I was doing the same thing. Just I got up, went to work, came home, went to sleep, repeat. You know what I mean? And like never, it's kind of like you forget about yourself, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family. Like it was just like we were just like disconnected. All we did, we went to work and we looked at our phones or we looked at our computers. Then we got stuck with just looking at the computer all day long. So like now, Corey, like I think your podcast is great, but I hate, like I'm looking at this computer screen because I do that every day.
Yeah.
Every day I sit down in front of a computer and normally I don't see anybody because the kids have that like they little pictures and stuff. So it's just, but it just daily, like I don't know, it just became a daily shift. And I began to really think about like my life, my family. And if you don't know, like what Corey knows, like I never really went to church. I didn't go like I used to go a lot when I was a kid, but as I got older, but I know God, I know religion, I know spirituality, I know there's a difference. So I knew that God did this for a reason. And it was like, hey, listen to me. Sit y'all butts down, reconnect with your loved ones. Even if it's through the phone, call them, check on them, see how they doing, and just take care of yourself. Because we were really slowly killing ourselves, just running on fumes.
Always on the go.
Yes.
Not saying no. And now it is so easy. When somebody invites you to something, we be like, hey, it's still COVID. It's still COVID. I don't know. It's still COVID. So,
yeah. I totally agree. And it's almost to the point, it's like, it don't take all of that. Like, be present, be in the moment, whatever that moment is. And it helped. That's what it helped me to do. Is like, okay, chill out, slow down, be in this moment, and be okay with what you're doing right now today. And because for me, I'm like, okay, my kids got to do this, they got to do this, they got to go here, they got to go here. And like you said, Trish, totally lost sight of what I need to do. So then I'm like, okay, now, and I pause and I'm like, okay, now I got to keep us all safe. And I said, okay, now, well, you got to get yourself together. So I had to step back and say, okay, think about what you need to do. And if you can't be present, if you can't have yourself together, you can't help nobody else. And that was the biggest thing. And like you said, saying no is so much easier because I'm a yes person. Yes, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, because if I don't do it, who else gonna do it? And I gotta go. Yeah, okay, I'll go. I gotta support people. So, and running myself ragged. And I was like, nope. So COVID has really helped me to shift that focus to be like, yeah. And it also helped me to see people who I'm like-minded. Who are the like-minded people? Like who am I on the same page with? So I can choose where I spend my time. Because all of us are limited time. We don't know. So who are you gonna spend that time with? And that helped. COVID helped to shape that as well.
Yeah. I was just talking to someone and she was telling me how their whole life, we're always on the move. We just move. We got to go here. We got to do this. I got to do that. We make ourselves so busy. But what COVID did was showed us that we actually wasn't busy at all. We were busy bodies. We really didn't have true purpose in all of the movements that we were making. Some of that stuff was like really filler. It was good to say, oh, I got to be here. Oh, I got to go here. But in actuality, you really could just set your butt down from the beginning. And I think when COVID hit for me, the recluse that I truly, truly am, and that's why I was telling you that struggle I do where I'm in the background, I would prefer it, but I'm always in the front. Well, people assume that because when they meet me, I'm always in some position. Hey, you're president. Hey, you're leader. Hey, you manage this team. Hey, you have so many titles that people just assume that you're just really out there like, oh, Corey know where to go. Corey know the spots. He know the people. And in actuality, I don't. In actuality, I'm really one of those. I was a very, very flaky person. And that was something that I worked on in COVID because like Trish said, I couldn't say no, but I would tell you I'm coming and I won't show up. You know, I'd be like, I'm there. I'm there. Oh yeah. Where? What's the address? And then I
I'm
say,
glad
oh
you never
man,
did me like that because we wouldn't
I
have been
never.
friends no more. You never did me like that.
Yeah, but then you would still be
Some
friends.
other
Trust
stuff,
me.
we wouldn't have been. No.
But I think he'll tell us like, oh, I ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I,
would
Tell
after
enough,
the
I
fact.
can't make it.
After the fact,
Yeah.
he would say
Oh,
it.
But now I'm straight up. You know, people just say, "Hey, Corey, you coming now?" Because
Mm-hmm.
it really made me realize how valuable life was. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's some people who lost some people. I actually shed tears when they lost their loved ones during COVID, and it wasn't even my loved one, but I saw how intense and how much it affected them. It
Mm-hmm.
really affected them to the point like, man, I won't see them again. So I started looking at my family. You know, we have a very, very, very older family. Like my mom is 73, my dad's 75. You know what I'm saying? My aunts, I have an aunt that's older than my mom, and then my youngest aunt just turned 60. So like we don't have like, 35s and things like that. So I started looking like, man, these days are so numbered. I was like, and I took for granted. I talk to my mom every day. I'm not ashamed to say it. I talk to my dad at least once a week. I'm not ashamed of that either. But I started saying, let me put value. And I remember Trish told me one time, she said, Corey, I think, because, everybody knows sometimes my mom, they'll say some stuff and they'll be like, I just told you that. Or you like, I just showed you how to do that. And that those moments will it really bothered me. But I remember Trish told me, she said, Corey, I think you need to really reevaluate, kind of restructure yourself because you're going to miss that. And so I've gotten to a point where I'm on the phone with FaceTime and my mama asked me the same thing 7 times and I'll answer all 7 times. And then my sister even, she'll say, you've been doing better. Cause I'm really, I'm one of the people like, I'm not going to keep telling you. So yes.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
Yes.
Good job.
Okay.
Nah.
That's not okay. But again, like I say, I reshifted my entire purpose during COVID. I don't give as much as I used to. I'm very, reserved, very laid back. I know is one of my best friends. But it was hard because people call me in a minute. Hey, can you do this design? Yeah, give it to me. Da, da, da. And I'll be up at midnight, or people know I'll be up 1, 2 in the morning trying to pull something out. Now I just have to say, unfortunately, I can't at this time. And then of course, you gain enemies that way. You gain people saying, "Oh," but then it also, like you said, it makes you understand because I don't ask people for anything, as y'all know. But when I ask you for something and you don't come through, words matter to me. And so if I can't depend on you, don't ever depend on me because you let me know, and I am going tit for tat now. Of course, you can call.
Okay, you're awful. We're not going to do that.
No. What I'm saying is, of course, you can.
I don't think we need to go there.
Yeah, I don't want this to be a part of your legacy.
No. This is not the day. If today was the last day, this is not what we're saying on the last day.
Not on the last day.
Today is the last day. We're not doing that. We know.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got it.
do.
We got it.
And one of the comments was saying, well, Darren, he was saying how like COVID was a major point in our lives to stop and take a moment and realize what is really important in our lives. And I agree. I think I put value in some things that just wasn't valuable. And
minor things.
Major and minor things. That's a message.
That.
I really I really appreciate the simple stuff. Like when people call me back, or if I sit on the phone and we watch TV together, those moments are felt. But sometimes you can really tell who your real friends are when you could just answer the phone and you just hold that phone. You can hear all stuff going on. But sometimes people, that bothers some people. Some people can't deal with it. They be like, I mean, what you doing now? What you doing now? What you doing now? Like,
you want me to just let you go? Want me to let you go?
Yeah, want me to let you go? You need me to let you go? You need me to let you go? You be like, no, I'm good. Are you good? Okay. And see, some of those people you could go to sleep on the phone with. I think that's where I've become in my life these days. Like just my whole purpose reshifted. But I do have some things I'm working on in the background that still show true to who I really am as Corey. Just the person that I am. But I'm just saying I've really taken that into account because tomorrow's not promised, so I'm not going to run myself down anymore.
You're right.
For that.
Amen.
So, So,
amen, brother.
yeah, since I don't want my legacy to die. But now that you brought up legacy, let's talk about if today was your last day, what the message you would convey. What are some things that you would say that you never got to say, or like it's some things that you would have done that you never did that you wish you would have done? Like what are those messages or those things? Then that you saw how COVID just wiped people out.
So we saying something or we doing something, or you want either one?
Either one.
Okay. What would I do?
What would I say? I have something, and I don't know if I don't know if they're really on Facebook, but I want my sister to know that I really do love her. Because I know sometimes she like spazzes out um for other reasons. It may not even have anything to do with her family, but she'll go like left and she'll in her mind like no one cares for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like that. And like no matter what we say or do, like she is just like Jack on the little show when he turned into a fireball. That's how she is. But I want her to know that if if I could change whatever it is that makes her feel that way, like I would. I would because I love her that much. I would do whatever I could to change that feeling for her.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
one message I want out there. Because
Mm-hmm.
the past years, like I think my sister like 33. So I don't know if I'll get to see her for the next 33 years. Because I've been on this earth now next month, it'll be 44 years. That's a long time for us. I don't know if I'm gonna see another 44 years. So I'm trying to live every single day that I have coming. Like, I'm just trying to live them and be the best person that I can. But I want my sister to know that like I freaking love her, and if I could do anything to change her situation, I definitely would,
Mm-hmm.
but with no hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's
It
good.
is. That's really nice.
Dana?
So I would say I'm trying my best to say more of how I feel because you don't never know when your last day is.
Mhm.
So tell people how I feel, and I would say that I would tell people, everyone that I possibly could get to, that I love them no matter what, truly. And then also I would apologize to say, hey, if I ever did anything to hurt you or whatever, I apologize for that. And then what I would do is I would really spend time with my family. And when I say my family, it's my husband and my kids. I would spend time with them. And because they have they're the most important people in my life. And I would want and it would be a day full of fun. Like I would want to just have so much fun. I would want to laugh. I would want to play. I would want to do all of that because that's how I would want them to remember me.
Eat all the
And
bad
that's
food.
yes, anything. Eat whatever you want to eat. We're gonna do
Mhm.
everything. So my kids actually watched a movie called Yes Day. So I'd give them a yes day.
It was cute.
Yes, that was a good movie. So I'd give them a yes day. And I'd because they tried to earn one and they didn't earn it.
What's
But
yesterday? Tell everybody. Because it seems like
You can't. Well, the parents cannot say no. Like whatever
cannot say
they ask,
no.
they cannot say no. You should watch it. It's a really good
Yes,
movie.
it's a good movie. And it has a really good message. Because I was like,
Mhm.
okay, where's this going? But it has a good message at the end.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what I would do because I'm like a lot like that mom on that movie. So I would have to give them a yes day so they can remember that. Remember me in that way.
Mhm.
And I think that's what it would be like if that's what my last words would be like, hey, I love you, sorry, and live life to the fullest.
I like that. I think if I had, if today was my last, I think the message I want to convey is that no matter what you think of someone, as far as how well put together they are or what you think they have, everybody's still a building block. Everybody still can be edited. They can still be altered. Because I take criticism. I take the advice from when people give it to me, and sometimes people are surprised when I come to them for advice because they're like, "Oh, I didn't think you even." Oh man, trust me, I yearn for it because sometimes I'm very green in some areas. I might look as though I'm not, but I'm very green, and I receive. Man, I try my best to listen to people and understand people for what they have and what they're going through and what they can provide. My siblings, my mom, my dad, they'll tell you that I'm not an experienced person. I'm like, oh, you went through it. Oh, that's what happened when you went left. Okay, I'm gonna go right now. And I'm one of those people. So, but I don't have it all figured out, and I think that'd be the message that I want to convey to people, that regardless of what you may think, what you may see, Corey's still a work in progress, but
yeah.
I didn't die without trying.
Yeah,
that's important. So, we got some comments. Andrea said, "Where have I been? Where have I been? It's the last day." Yeah, Andrea, that's what we're talking about. Like, if today was your last day, if you knew today was your last day, what legacy you like to leave behind, or what would the message that you like to convey to people? What you think that people would have that long lasting discussion about when they think of you as a person? One of the things says, there is no, I found this little quote. It said, except that there is no solution for feelings of pain, loss, and disappointment. They are part of being alive and can be experienced and survived. Engage with life in all its ups and downs. View regret as an opportunity to do things differently next time, rather than a signal that you should give up trying altogether. I thought that was like, when I read, I said, we do try to look at regret like, man, I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't. And I'm real guilty of it. I'm an analyzer of words. I like to, words affirmation is my love language. Word affirmation is important. If you don't have your word, you don't have nothing with me. I don't need gifts. I don't need nothing. I need you to stand by your word for me. And if you don't, I'll never come to you again. And that's just who I am. So like, every time I'm really guilty of that, like I will replay a conversation. Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And sometimes I'll chime people in that are close to me, and they're like, "Corey, you're doing the most." Trish did like that a few times. Dina really, you can't really ask Dina too much, because Dina like, "What's going on now? What? Okay, Corey, that's silly." And sometimes you need to be pulled back, So yeah.
But it's a lot about your mindset and how you approach it. Having a positive mindset about whatever situation. Instead of being like, oh, I should just, okay, well, what can I learn? What did I learn from this? And how can I move forward in a better and be better?
Yes. I like that, Monique. I would hope people would think I tried it all. I gave my all, and I had a genuine heart. Well, I can speak. You have a great heart, and you're really good people. And I think that's what people would say, man. Monique was there. Anytime you needed her, she was there. And it's good to have those type of people in your life. And I tell you, and we have people in our lives. Y'all know we have people in our lives that just really are not good people, but we love them anyhow. And we won't let anybody else talk bad about them, but we know in our hearts of hearts that they're not really right. But I think that with COVID, do you think some of those people would change?
Yeah, I think you hope they would, but
right.
You can watch some people now; they're still the same. Like,
yeah,
nothing has really changed about them. It's just like we didn't just go through that for a full year and still in it. Like, they're still the same. Because like I've been wanting to tell people so bad. And I don't know if I read it or I heard it, but you cannot think that your today will look like your yesterday.
I like that.
Because it just won't. It just won't. So you have to live every day for that day.
Yep.
And things are constantly changing. So constantly. And that's it. That's it.
And I think that's But to build on what you said, Trish, so I'm a planner. And I want to plan what we're doing next week, what we're doing next month,
What
what we're
we're
doing.
doing next hour,
What are we
next 10
doing? I
minutes.
need to plan it out and I need to know. COVID has told me, you can't plan nothing. Don't
No,
even try to plan nothing
no.
because I'm gonna change it up on you. Soon as you try
Anyway,
to plan something, it's gonna be changed and it's gonna be different, and you're gonna have to. So I learned how to really that's why I said be present in that moment and enjoy that moment and not worry about what's gonna be next. I think that's a big thing.
yeah.
I like what Andrea said. Andrea, what really stuck out with your messages, she left it on life stage. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like what that even stand for,
Yeah,
because life is a performance, You gotta get it. You gotta get it, and your number gonna be called, and you don't want to be left behind, or you don't want to live with any regrets.
right.
And I think that's really cold blooded. Hey, Wonder. It's my Seattle people. I love me some Wonder. Here's support, but list of some good topics here. Wonder
She's so
solid.
true. She also said, "Have a plan and God laughs." Yes,
I
he
for
has
real, you
done.
just
Yep.
Yes,
better.
he has
Hey
done
man,
that.
I had. Never mind. It don't even matter.
Come on.
Nah,
Come
I'm saying
on.
like I had a full plan out. Like how? Yeah, I wrote it down and everything. Like check it out, checking
Yeah.
stuff off, and then something happened, and I
Hmm.
said, "Yeah, you better listen out. You better listen." He
And it
telling you,
turns out better. It turns out better
yeah,
if you just listen.
just
Yes,
listen.
and get out of your own way.
Come on,
Hmm.
yeah.
I I still have my plan.
They want to hear it, Trish. They want to hear the plan. What was the plan?
You want to know my plan?
And Dre want to hear it.
We want to hear about it,
Let me
Betty.
go. It's on this anchor chart paper hanging on the door. I have to go get it, but I did. I wrote my plan out. It's not going good. It's not going good at all. I want you to know that God, and I realize God just have other plans for me, and I
Hmm.
am
Hmm.
like, I'm sitting down and allowing Him to, show me the path, and I'm
Yep.
just kind of following it, and that's it.
Yep.
So yeah, Andrew, it's not a good plan. It's not a good plan.
Yeah. Well, I had a 5 year and a 10 year and a 15 year plan, and they kind of went as such, but then some things blew it up. They blew situations happen, things happen, and it blew my plan up. And what I did realize, I think taking a job with Amazon, what I learned was Amazon is a tech company. I'm in a non-tech world. I'm an architect for a tech company. Who would even thought that? My
Hmm.
goal was to retire from a traditional architecture firm and go that route and just be, traditional, hey, blueprints, and that was really my plan. And I think in
Hmm.
How's that working out?
2019,
How's that working out?
Right.
that's why I said I think in 2019 it really made me ball that plan up in my, like, okay, Corey, you're doing some things you probably didn't think this way you would be, but you're
Hmm.
successful in the role that you're in. Just keep rolling with it. And so now I have realized. So now I tell people, I say, I hope I'll be retiring from Amazon. I don't know what's next for me. I don't know where I'm about to go. And
Hmm.
but that really helped me move my course. Because I'm very like that's why me and Dean are so in sync, because you got to have a plan. Like, don't come at us with no, oh, we just gonna walk down the street and whatever happens. No, we knowing, okay, we're leaving here, and of
Which
course
way
I
are we
don't. I never.
walking? What time are we walking that way? Which way are we
Yeah.
gonna turn after we walk that way? No.
Well, everybody know I'm terrible with time, so I'm gonna leave that analogy out. But like, we're very very meticulous on things, and I'm one of those people, and so I think that when I even took the job, it was like, man, I'm not looking at, they're not hiring no architects, and got hired, like, man, and so many opportunities, and my career has taken off in a whole different path.
And Corey, I admire
Man,
you for even doing that because it was so outside of, like you said,
hmm
of your plan or what you thought of kind of what you had prepared for,
yeah.
and for you to step out on faith on that and you moved to a whole nother state, like that was a big thing. And I admire you for doing that and, and all the journey you've been on. So just
I
want to be
thank you for
nice
that,
for a
Dean.
minute. Just want to be nice just for a minute.
You're nice all the time. Don't act like you're mean to me. But you know what's so fun is that when we go to school, we learn all of these programs. Like in architecture school and where I am, you learn how to build blueprints and do this AutoCAD. Now it's Revit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm in a more of a management role. I don't even design. I just review plans. And it's kind of like, man, I sure miss throwing that window in there or measuring, I don't do that. But I was reading an article where it was saying how we, especially our generation of young affluent Blacks, we say we want management, we say we want the promotion, but when we get it, we like, I want to go back to doing what I do.
I sure miss.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I miss doing this. It's like, why you miss it? And everybody know me, I have to crunch numbers now at this job. I have to manage, I have to balance budgets, and it keep me up, $70-80 million projects, and you're like, and you have to fine tune that and go through, and that's different for me because I'm just used to, hey, I'm here to draw, but now somebody else is drawing for me, so I need to make sure what they're drawing, hey, it aligns with my budget, and if it don't, I need to throw something. And so it takes you in a whole nother role. But all I can sit up sometimes and say, man, I sure wish I was doing window details right now. But then my thought would be like, that's being comfortable and just accepting the norm. I know that's a paycheck. I know, and so I asked my boss, my boss for my last team, to download the software on my computer just so I can keep my skills up, because you just never know what may happen. And I don't want to get into my next role and be like, well, I haven't drawn in 8 years. No. So I still do that from time to time. But I took a leap of faith, and I made it happen. I love it. And when everybody hears Amazon, of course, I don't go into details of what I actually do. But when people hear Amazon, the first question, I know that. And I be like, y'all just don't know. It's gruesome, but it's a job, and I love it. And I love it that we can write our own path. So I'm going on a tangent, but I think that
you are going on a tangent.
It's okay.
Yeah,
tangent on.
And I'm a tangent. I'm a tangent out. I have to come through this phone for my fellow light skin over there. So yeah.
He lost.
See, like most said, I miss physically being in a lab testing, and then you just. Wanda said, "No plans. I am unorganized, and I just do." Wanda, no, that's a lie. Wanda's very organized. She came on the team. She joined the team after me when I lived in Seattle, and Wanda got some stuff together. She put some people in place. So
don't start telling Wanda business, because you didn't tell your mama age and you didn't did all this.
Hey, but I'm like Wanda, unorganized. Now I don't plan. I just kind of do it. Somebody asked me, I think one of the kids asked, they're like, Miss Williams, what you doing this weekend? I said, man, I don't make plans. I just, however I'm feeling, that's what I'm going to do. However I'm feeling.
See, Hunter said, I put him on blast.
You are.
And that's why I don't talk, because I'm like, I might say the wrong thing, so I don't say nothing at all.
You do talk. Let's start there.
Offline, you do talk. I do.
No, right now on the line, on the live, on this.
Tina, this you're next. You're
okay. Okay. The NFL draft is on. What are we doing? We still talking?
For real, it is.
With tomorrow not being promised, who's getting chosen number one?
Okay. Look.
I need to see the backgrounds of the people.
Do you? Oh, that's you one of them kind of people.
I need to see.
You want? I just like to see it when they in a room with their family. You really get to see the true dynamic of where they come from.
Oh, it was serious. It was some serious last year. It was some serious.
When that girl went to hug that boyfriend, that mama.
That mama said, "Get back,
move."
He ain't gonna be with you. He ain't gonna be with you long. He ain't gonna be with you long.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm here for the comedy.
So, I did make a promise that from this season that I was gonna stick to 45 minutes. So, bringing things to a close.
Don't ask me what I'm gonna say on the last day.
I'm not going to ask you anything anymore.
This is what I'm gonna
Uh-uh.
ask. 'Cause what people don't know is Corey is what is it called on Facebook? When you get to memorialize the account.
Yeah, yeah. I am that. So
He's
that's
my
my
Facebook
job.
beneficiary.
Oh, really?
So when, like, if when somebody perishes, you go to turn their picture into like a
All I'm
memoriam.
asking, all I'm
Mm.
asking is, please don't put me on a T-shirt. I do
Yes.
not want. I do
I
not want
don't want a
wings
T-shirt.
behind me.
Please don't do it.
I don't want wings behind me.
Me too.
And I only want 3 people to speak. Don't let nobody else get up there and say this one time. I don't want that. That's all I'm asking for. I don't ask for much.
Well,
I don't
I
ask
just
for
want y'all to bury me in the ocean with my ancestors, which they.
Oh, okay. What is the closing comments? Because this not what we're doing.
Ah! Corey, I want a sweatshirt. I got you, Wanda. I got you. I'm gonna take a. So in closing, what we have learned in COVID is how I think we all touched on it. Like, if you got something to say it. If there's an apology that needs to be made, make it. If
Mm-hmm.
you're wrong in something, no grudges should be held. Life is just way too short because you like my parents would say, you go on and you will stay angry, and they have moved on with life. And when
Mm-hmm.
you do reconnect, you bring up old stuff. They be like, I don't even remember that. So sometimes we have to just let go and let God. And I have learned that a lot. It saves your health. It saves your strength. It saves your mental capacity, because sometimes you can overthink or think on some things. And sometimes it'll take you to a path where people start thinking, oh, you're crazy. And you're not really crazy. You're just truly trying to think of some things and try to say, let me make sure that I heard this correctly. But sometimes if you heard it wrong, it really does not matter, because
Mm-hmm.
nobody's words should really affect your day to day, regardless if how much you honor them, how much you martyr them, how much you praise that person. Nobody's words should take you into a sunken or deep place. You
Yeah,
should
you
really
gotta
take it
protect
at
your
face
peace.
value. Yeah, protect your peace, take it at face value, and
Mm-hmm.
understand what is actually happening, and then receive it. If it's good or if it's bad, receive and say, hey, this is something I'm gonna work on, or say, hey, I can't change that. My breath just stinks. So, and
Mm-hmm.
you just move on. But I think that that's really, really important. And I think start doing the work now. We serve a forgiving God, and I'm not gonna go into preaching, but he gave us third, fourth, fifth millions of chances. So if
Mm-hmm.
you think that if you get feedback from people where people don't want to be around you, or where you get feedback where people's got something to say about you and you didn't really realize that, change it. That's
Mm-hmm.
not altering who you are for people. It's actually changing for the better. Do it now, because tomorrow's not promised. Because
Yep.
as we know, people's, I'm gonna be okay. When we come out of COVID, and next thing you know, there's a memorial going on, and you're like, man, they passed. I can't believe that. And it's the simple things. And so when you start looking at that, I think it puts life in a whole different perspective. And so
Yep. Yep.
Corey, I was gonna
Focus.
say when you said, we have a forgiving God and He forgives us 5 million. I start singing in my head, He the homie and
yeah. And on that,
He
yes,
the homie. I don't
I hate you.
I can't.
I
remember
hate
we
you.
said we was gonna try to keep it light too,
Right. Right.
even
And you
heavy
start
but
going
light.
to
But
the
that
church.
but that He the homie was
Yes. I
yeah.
like what Chris said. Be okay with what you have, because that may be all you get.
Yes.
Because sometimes
Yes.
we are not happy
Mm-hmm.
with what we have. We always looking for, okay, I got this. Let's move forward.
Yep.
Good one, Chris. Good
Focus
one.
on your blessings.
Yeah.
Focus on your blessings.
And
Yeah.
just be happy with what you have, because we get so hyper focused on what we're missing, and we
Yes.
start like I got to work harder because I don't have this. But
Mm-hmm.
when you
Mm-hmm.
really look at it, man, I think that was like when I was writing my plan, I had made some notes like that. Like we always think we don't have enough.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Always, like no matter what, even when we go get that thing that we're missing, we still don't have enough. So that's it. I'm
I
not
like
gonna
that.
say nothing else because I know he's trying to keep it to 45 minutes.
We've already surpassed
Yeah.
that.
54
He
now.
We're
don't do well
closing.
with.
We're closing
He
it,
doesn't
Dina.
do well with time, but I do. That's what I'm
And
trying to.
Dina, Dina, and what's your last words?
I said, focus on your blessings. That's it.
Yeah.
Focus on the same thing. I think that's what it's all about. Like, focus on what you have instead of what you don't have. Because if you do, you're gonna continue to be chasing and running and continue unhappy because you're trying to get this, go here, go. Is focus on the blessings and be a blessing.
Yeah, I like that.
I
And
love it.
I love it. And Andrea, I'm on all platforms. I'm on Apple, iTunes, I'm on Google, I'm on any Spotify, any podcast format you have. You just type in Surviving the Podcast. Let me see if I can type that in. It says I can. But I don't know.
Peter, homie.
If you go in your search and type in surviving,
No G.
look, I can't even. No G.
No G.
The
Surviving.
Sure. Surviving.
In. The in.
Together.
Not
Surviving.
ing. Not ing. In.
If you go to surviving the podcast on any of your what's the names?
What's her name? What's her name?
If you go to any of your podcast,
What's
any
her
of your
name?
podcast applications,
Her name.
if you go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, any other third party, Android has 1 million podcast entities because there's just a confused phone. Do you have any of those podcasts? You just type in Surviving the Podcast, and season 1 and 2 will pop up, and season 3 will be coming as I upload these as well. We do have a YouTube channel, the same, Surviving the Podcast. You can see all the other live recordings from all the previous episodes as well. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like I said, this is something we do. It's something that we put on. It's a cost to nobody. Corey's pays for it. I don't have any sponsorships. I'm not really looking for that because it turns into something else. This is something where people can come and you can start calling in and you can make comments and you can give us suggestions, etc. We want it to be very, very interactive because normally I didn't used to be live. I would do it off camera, audio only, and people started preferring the video version during pandemic. And so now that we out, I don't know how long this will last, but we will have a full season, but I don't know how long it'll last that I'll go live. So
this is great. It's great live. And thank y'all all for the comments.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for the comments too. Sponsorship leads to censorship. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because I wouldn't be able to have my guests, and I love my people. And Chris gonna be on the episode too, dabbing in the deep end, and it's gonna be really, really solid. Getting out of your comfort zone. Chris is a solid brother. I mean, he's solid. I'm not an alpha right now. He's a solid friend. He's good people, and I think the conversation is gonna be well when he joins the episode as well. So. Thank you guys, Trish. Thank you, Dina. And thank you everybody out there. Get to your life, and you'll see this, in the forthcoming days. Y'all take care now.
Bye. All right.